Dr. Taha, Dr. Flutterman, how important are collaborations or partnerships at UNM, the School of Engineering, and civil engineering departments that support STEM student learning?
You go first, and then I'll.
Okay. Well, I think these collaborations are extremely important. The civil engineering department has the vision of a strategic plan actually for a number of years on growing sustainable development. A lot of the undergraduate education and graduate education is focused on this. Our collaboration with different departments that is on the STEM helps us growing this sustainable development, teaching students what sustainability is and how this can be included in all different aspects of design in civil engineering, from simple things like very simple things like typical water channel, but to actually complex things like dams, like bridges, like the systems that you see today on the different water systems. So this is extremely important for us, and interdisciplinary is key. We realize that a lot of communication skills, a lot of other skills our students can gain from working with those other departments. And we are very interested in growing it. We've been working on it, and it's very important to us.
Well, I'll speak a little more broadly about engineering in general, and not just civil engineering, but collaborations with other departments across campus is essential to our student success. Our students spend a lot of their first year on campus taking classes that aren't taught by engineering. You know, they're taking physics, chemistry, math, and so collaborating with those departments and the faculty in those departments is essential to our student success. And we do try to work with them to ensure that the curricula in those courses is designed to make our students very successful. And going beyond the academic area, we also really value our collaborations with other aspects of UNM that are focused on student success. So, for example, we have our own tutoring and mentoring system within the School of Engineering, but not all of our students are able to access those on a daily basis. So we collaborate with CAPS, which is a tutoring organization here on campus. We collaborate with career services, because career services are very essential to our students in terms of finding internships, exploring career opportunities, and ultimately finding a job. So our student success is vitally affected by things that happen outside of the engineering school, and I think that's very important for all of our students. So we like to collaborate and talk to those folks a lot.
So given the water activity today, what do you hope is the outcome for students as far as learning and helping them understand possibly what engineering is and what the impact of water in the state?
Here, I'll start on that one. It's interesting that students don't recognize sometimes how engineering is ubiquitous in our lives. You know, they don't understand all of the ways that engineering affects us. Now, I think they all realize that water is vitally important to us, and clean water and disposal of waste through water, etc., is extremely important. But not all of them realize that that's an engineering function. So basically, if you drink a glass of clean water today, it's because an engineer did their job. And so I think one of the goals of an event like this is for them to understand that something as mundane and ubiquitous as water is actually a highly engineered substance, and very important that engineers be trained in how to deal with water and make a clean water supply delivered to buildings, houses, everywhere.
Absolutely, I agree with Dr. Flutterman on this, and I think we as professionals realizing today, and the whole world speaking about three key challenges the world has, and they are water, energy, and food. Population growth on Earth is now close to 8 billion people on Earth. The resources are limited, the fresh water is limited. People are talking about that actually the next wars will be based on or around water and water resources. But what we think is actually if we do our job well, and if our students realize how important these systems like water and the applications of it, as the film talk about fresh water, clean water, and the simple glass of water you have at home, how important is this, and we teach them this well, water actually might be a good thing that we all share. and if we know how important it is. So civil engineering, of course, water is a key thing. And again, when you talk about civil engineering in New Mexico, then this is a key element of what we teach. When we talk about sustainable development, we have to have good water, clean water, available fresh water to the public. It's a key element in civil engineering. And again, as I say, it's not only civil engineering, the whole education system worldwide policies are today based on how can we develop to provide clean water. It strongly relates to energy, everything is energy, and also it strongly relates to food. So without water, all the other things we are interested in is not going to happen, and we keep our focus on this.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Dr. Schuler, talk to us a little bit about the Center for Water and the Environment's overview and focus.
Yeah, so the Center for Water and the Environment is based out of the Civil Engineering Department here at UNM. We've been around for about 3 years now, and we're supported by a major grant from the National Science Foundation. And we're organized around really the concept of a watershed and all the factors that affect water quality, taking as an example the Rio Grande watershed. And if you think about that sort of at the top of the system moving down, at the top of the watershed, you have people like Ricardo here working on factors that affect runoff, water quality, say after a fire, that kind of thing. So hydrology is a really important part of the water cycle. We're also interested in water quality within the river and nutrients, which Ricardo is also working on a lot. We're working on how do we use water and how can we reuse water, so technologies for water treatment for drinking water and technologies for cleaning up our wastewaters to protect our environmental systems. And really the hot area now is actually reusing that water as much as we can before we put it back into the environment. We're also interested in issues with water quality with the subsurface. We've got faculty that are working on, for example, uranium contamination of groundwater, a lot of work on native lands, which is a big problem in New Mexico with uranium contamination. Also, the neat thing about water is it really cuts across a lot of different areas and disciplines. So we also have faculty in our group that are working with the economics of water use and water reuse and how do we most efficiently use our water for things like energy extraction, oil wells and fracking and that kind of thing, and how does that affect water quality? Is it even a good idea? There's also a big public perception and societal aspect to water as well. So we've got faculty that are looking at, for example, what is the societal barriers or public perception barriers to reusing water for direct potable reuse, so we take wastewater and transform it into drinking water, which is a big area right now, and that's going to start happening more and more.
So, Dr. Gonzalez and Dr. Schuler, how do professionals in your field collaborate with other professionals in other fields, and how do such collaborations add value to research across different fields of study?
Yeah, I can start. Water is, I think, one of the areas of research and outreach that provides a lot of opportunities for collaboration with other disciplines. In the center that we have, we do a lot of collaboration, for instance, with people from biology, from economics, from chemistry, from geology, and from engineering, different parts of engineering. And that is very important because previously, I would say, about 50 years ago, the way we did research was trying to understand one of the angles of the problems that we had, and now we understand that we need holistic solutions and approaches to trying to solve these problems that affect, as Andy was saying before, many different aspects of how water and people work in the same context of watersheds and economics as well. So we have been doing a lot of research recently with new faculty that we have added to the center from biology, as I mentioned before, trying to understand the cycle of nutrients in the Rio Grande. So they are bringing a piece of expertise that we didn't have in engineering, especially related to long-term deployment of sensors. They were very good at doing that here at UNM. And now we're using all that information to understand how we can take advantage of the cycling process of nutrients to reduce the energy consumption. And by doing that, we have incorporated a new faculty from economics, because when we talk about food, energy, and water, what comes as a single aspect that affects all of the others is economics, right? People want to make economically based decisions, and we're talking and working with them very closely. I think that is a great example of how we do research with people from different departments and schools.
Yes, I think Ricardo covered that very well. I guess I would only add that, as Ricardo said, for issues like food, energy, and water, which is a big organizing principle for us now, you think about the disciplines required to address that problem. One great thing we have at UNM is we already have faculty with great expertise in all these different areas, in engineering, in biology, in economics, in planning. And one mission of the center is to bring all those people together to work on big projects together. And I think we're being very successful at that.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
Okay, Dr. Valentin and Dr. Gonzalez, what other types of events do you feel will help STEM students be more engaged in learning outside the classroom, such as this event today?
I believe that undergraduate research is a very important piece or can play an important role on this, because the students are able to go to the field, collect data, many participated in experiments in the lab, and also see how questions can be answered by using these data. In addition to that, they're able to apply their knowledge to solve these problems.
I think that another opportunity that we can bring, and that we're bringing actually, for people doing activities related to water is providing them with opportunities to relate what they learned at the university with internships somewhere else, where they can learn how the real world works, what type of solutions they have to provide, because, for instance, one thing is what you learn from a book, another very different thing is what is available out there in the real world in terms of resources, in terms of data that is available. So exposing students to real scenarios of how solutions have to be provided to society is very important, and that is an aspect that we are working on right now, and that we are going to continue to increase those opportunities for new students.
There's also undergraduate research opportunities available through the center, so any students that are interested in this, please contact us.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Valentin, regarding today's water event, what are the benefits to faculty and students?
So for students, I believe they're able to explore other career paths that maybe are important to them, such as water scarcity. They might be familiar with this problem, and this can get them interested into STEM disciplines if they're not already. For faculty, I believe, well, it's fun for us just to show them our hands-on demonstrations, and also to challenge them with questions throughout these events. In addition to that, maybe motivating them to pursue our own careers, of course, is very gratifying.
Thank you.
My name is Tim Schroeder, and I'm the director of the STEM Collaborative Center at the University of New Mexico. What we do at the STEM Collaborative Center is twofold. One, we work with the academic departments and student services departments at UNM to collaborate on science, technology, engineering, and math education for undergraduate students. So we focus a lot on working with faculty members and other departments to share resources, to share data, to help each other build participation and momentum in our programs. We also work with students individually and in groups in order to help students understand as early as possible the interconnection of STEM disciplines and to be engaged in STEM research and STEM development. So Our goal is really that first and second year students get to see their faculty members, get to participate in research, participate in design and development sooner than they would just through their coursework. So we do a lot of short trips or short events where students can come for free and experiment with different concepts, learn different approaches to science-based disciplines. And we love our job. We work with students every day. We work with science every day, which is a lot of fun. We work with faculty who are very passionate about what they're doing and who really like to share that passion with students. And that makes every day exciting to come to work. Thank you.
Whoa, what was that? Tornado.
Tornado! What happens if you spin your head really fast? Oh, look at this one. Maybe we can make a little whale.
Make it rain.
How do you make it rain? Okay. There you go. We just made a little pond.
Oh! Okay, it's escaping. Because I might... Don't, you're going to overfill this thing. Have you...
Dang, this thing's like very cool.
Oh, disconnect.
Hey, rain or you?
Oh yeah, power back.
Oh!
It's like, what am I doing this?
So what we have here is a reverse osmosis system, kind of a typical parallel setup where you take your contaminated water and it passes through a series and the concentrate gets more concentrated until you end up with a saltier stream of water than you started out with, but you also end up with a clean stream as well. This is good for desalinization across the country. Obviously, it's much more easily done on coastal regions where salty water can be discharged back into the ocean. However, some communities within the country are doing it as well, most notably Cloudcroft, New Mexico. So for demonstration of this, we show a reverse osmosis element. We show how it's sort of exploded into its spun membrane form. And we demonstrate this for elementary school children and middle school kids to give them a sense of how precious water is and how even when you solve a problem, you end up with a secondary problem as well. More brackish and salty water than you had. Disposing of it can be a real problem, but that's why we need more engineers.